Studio time check says it's 34 minutes past 6 a.m. Today is the 28th day in August of 2025. I'm so excited. The month is finally coming to an end. On Monday, it did seem as if the month slowed down, but we're grateful to God for His mercy, His grace, and, keeping us alive. Helping us see day to day, and today is the 28th day, just a couple more days before the end of this month. Good morning to you, dear listener. Thank you for tuning to Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. We are also your number one family radio in the whole of Oyo State. I say welcome. Wells Radio is broadcasting live from Wells Broadcasting House. It's located along Alafin Avenue, Uliole State, Ibadan. I am Bolanle Oduekun. I'll be your host this morning on Perspectives Unlimited. On Perspectives Unlimited, we take a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in the country. Okay, we help you take a look at all of this news. We discuss them. We take a look at these stories. We discuss them, we analyze them, we go beyond the news. We help you make sense of all of these stories. You know why? Because information is power, and we want you to always stay informed. Now, before we get to the show, kindly follow us across all our social media platforms. We're on Facebook at Wells Radio 893. Same on Instagram, X, and TikTok, Wells Radio 893. But you must follow us on our Facebook fan page, which is specially created for you, our dear fans. It's at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. At Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. You'll be able to watch Perspectives Unlimited live this morning, and so many other shows that are coming from here as well. Additionally, you can listen to us live via our website, www.wellsradio893.com. I always say that if I have to travel anywhere this instant, I know that I can still listen to Wells Radio. And you can too by going to our website, www.wellsradio893.com. Now, I said earlier that information is power, right? You can always join us on YouTube as well. So we have a new arm of the Wells family. It's called the Wells Television, and you can always join us every day for news updates, daily news updates, no stale news. Okay, so just follow us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Wells Television, and also like us on Facebook, Wells Television, and you'll get the latest news stories every single day on our daily news updates. All right, this morning, Perspectives Unlimited is what it is. We're taking a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in the country. And many people are listening. And why am I saying this? I'm saying this to drive home a point that you should do business with us here at Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Come do business with us. Let's help you advertise your goods, your services, whatever it is. Make your announcements and everything you want people to know. And I promise you that we're affordable, okay? We're very affordable. When you come, we'll be able to discuss better. So you can either walk into our office here along Alafin Avenue, Uliole State, Ibadan. It's the Wells Broadcasting House. You can also send us a WhatsApp message to 0915 4999 893. I'll take the number again, 0915 4999 893. And if you feel that an email is the best way, we are available. Just send us an email to realwellsradio@gmail.com. That's real, REAL, realwellsradio@gmail.com. Okay, and we'll definitely respond to you. Additionally, you can send us a direct message on any of the social media platforms, and we'll definitely respond to you. This morning, we're taking a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. And I have the Punch newspaper, the Vanguard newspaper, the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, and the Daily Trust newspaper. We'll start with the front page of the Punch newspaper. The lead headline says, strike threats. ASU VCs decry professors 525,000 naira monthly pay. That's on page 2. Don't insist on salary review as senior lecturers earn 386,000 naira. Education, Labour ministers meet today. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. More headlines. Jonathan demands credible INEC chair. The Christ defections. That's on page 7. Federal government nets 393 billion naira tax from Dangote, 9 others. That's on page 17. APC mocks ADC over chairmanship tussle. That's on page 21. 2027, party members can challenge Tinubu, says APC. You find that on page 11. Jailed monarch Oshun to obtain U.S. court's judgment. That's on page 11. Nigerians spent 1.3 trillion naira on petrol in June. That's from the NMDPRA. That story is on page 18 of the Punch newspaper. And finally, Lagos man killed in fight, suspect arrested. That's on page 5 of the Punch newspaper. In pictures, we actually have a picture of 37 suspected internet fraudsters arrested by operatives of the EFCC in Wukari, Taraba State on Wednesday. Seeing this surprises me. I'll quickly bring in an analyst, Mr. Olalekun Sani, even though I haven't taken all of the headlines. I'm seeing on the front page. Good morning, sir.
Morning,
and you're welcome.
Thank you, madam.
I'm seeing on the front page of the Punch newspaper that suspected internet fraudsters have been paraded. When we know that the last, statement that came from the police was that they would, stop parading suspects.
The truth of the matter is that these are two entirely different organizations. The EFCC is different from the Nigeria Police Force. So whatever the police service in Nigeria says has nothing to do with the EFCC. But let's talk about the propriety of parading suspects.
I mean, although their faces were not shown, but
it still doesn't matter. If it's someone you know too well, just a side view or a back view, you would most certainly spot the person.
And imagine that they're later found to be innocent.
Innocent. I mean, I have a lot of issues with the way the EFCC does its things. As far as I'm concerned, there is no logic in what they do. They go anywhere they feel like they are young boys. They carry out mass arrests and now begin to profile. Oh, who are you? What do you do? That's ridiculous. That's foolish as far as I'm concerned. It's 2025. You have access to every bank account in this country without leaving your office. You can do your investigation and know who exactly is guilty and who is not guilty before you leave. I mean, that is what you would expect of sensible people in 2025. Not just that you say, oh, stay where you are. Tell me what you do for a living. I mean, that's dumb. That's dumb.
All right, let's move to the front pages of other dailies. The Vanguard lead headline says 2027 presidency, zoning causes rumpus. PDP intensifies move to woo Jonathan. Ex-president still consulting, that's from sources. PDP zoning decision won't stand, Olawipo Hashim. Zoning presidency to South, not to glorify Wike. That's from PDP, and it's a sacrifice for unity, says Bala Mohammed. That story is on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. More headlines. Uzodinma raises minimum wage to 104,000 naira. Imo workers jubilate. That's on page 11. 762 Nigerians killed by kidnappers in 1 year. That's according to a report. Presidency, NSA, Police Headquarters, NCTC, keep mum. That's on page 8. Voter apathy aids bad leaders. Can warns Nigerians. That's on page 13. I await full briefing on Abuja Kaduna train disaster from the president. In sports, 2026 WCQ, Super Eagles will prove doubters wrong. That's from the coach, Eric Shell. On the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, 2027, despite endorsing Tinubu, APC throws ticket open. That's on page 4. Ondo government bans elaborate graduation ceremonies for nursery and GSS pupils. That story is on page 3. China boosts Nigeria's flood relief efforts with $1 million. Bagudu hails growing trade between countries. That's on page 3. Paracetamol, ibuprofen, quietly fueling antibiotic resistance, evolving global health problem. That's according to a study on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. 56% of Nigerians living below poverty line. That's from the TUC president on page 3. Nigeria loses 455 billion naira annually to poor sanitation. That story is on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. CBN goes tough on POS operators, orders geotagging of terminals to tackle fraud and increase surveillance. That's on page 6. And federal government to clear retirees' pension backlogs with 758 billion naira bond. That's on page 15 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. And on the Daily Trust newspaper, federal government moves to avert ASUU strike. That story is on the front page. Continued on page 3. Police officer arrested as soldiers shot dead in Bauchi. That's on page 21. More headlines. Kidnappers of Katsina couple demand 600 million naira ransom. That's on page 6. Man allegedly beats wife to death for going to farm late. That's on page 17. Murder, 3 children die in building collapse. That story is on page 21. And Equatorial Guinea President's sons convicted for selling national plane. That story is on page 25. What kind of courage, must someone have, Mr. Sani, to sell the plane that belongs to the country?
I'm not surprised. The country you're talking about is a funny country. The father is president, son is vice president. As far as I'm concerned, the country belongs to them.
So it's a family affair.
It's a family affair. So they can afford to sell everything. If the people are so smart to allow that to happen, then God help them.
All right, let's get to some of the stories that are making the headlines this morning on the different dailies. We can agree that on the front pages of almost all the dailies, we have, talks about the ASUU strike. We also have about Jonathan and the PDP. That's former President Jonathan and the PDP. And then we'll take other stories as they come as well. Let's take a look at the strike threat from ASUU. The Punch newspaper, the headline says, strike threat, ASUU VCs decry professors 525,000 naira monthly pay. It says, following the conclusion of its nationwide protest on Tuesday, members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities are set to hold Congress to decide their next line of action. This comes as the federal government meets today to address long-standing agitations over the implementation of the renegotiated 2009 federal government ASUU agreement, which triggered nationwide protests across universities on Tuesday. They say that earlier this year, the President Bola Tinubu administration released 50 billion naira to settle earned academic allowances owed to university lecturers and staff. However, ASUU has consistently demanded clear commitments on improved salaries, conditions of service, university funding, autonomy, and the review of laws governing the National Universities Commission and the Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board, JAMB. The meeting is expected to be attended by the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Muhammadu Megari Dingyadi, and representatives of the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission. Is expected to produce a timetable for signing and the phased implementation of the renegotiated agreement, along with related reports. Now, over the last week, Mr. Sani, when the RMAFC said that, ministers some political office holders were earning below 1 million naira, and the president was earning about 1.5 million naira, barring any benefits or allowances, and that they had to meet to brainstorm on how to increase it, because it didn't make sense for the president to be earning that amount in 2025. We didn't really hear anything, from the ministries or the presidency. Oh, no, we're fine with what we're earning, don't worry. Now, according to this story, we hear that professors are earning 525,000 naira monthly. And some senior staff are earning 300 and something thousand naira monthly. In 2025 Nigeria, are these salaries enough? That's a rhetorical question, but are these salaries enough? And ASUU has been agitating for years and years. I never wanted on ASUU strike as a student, but I know that almost everyone I know has been affected by ASUU strike. Even the university I used to attend.
Let me just burst a bubble there. There was a semester in school that took me maybe almost 1.5 years to finish. Just a semester. And it was on for almost 1.5 years because there was a strike that went beyond over a full year when I was in school. Just one strike, one of multiple strikes. And it was on for over a year.
I can't relate, unfortunately.
I understand. I know the school you went to.
Even the school now participates in, ASUU strike and
because breakfast don't go around. They now can deal with what other schools are dealing with. In the past, they had a way of taking care of their lecturers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now there is degradation everywhere and it has reached the school. So what's the sense of not going on strike? Because we can feel what you are feeling. We are in the same pot of soup. So why not just speak out together in one voice?
Now, Mr. Sani, ASU has been chanting this since the 2009 agreement. Since 2009. It's a long time. The government that made this agreement with ASU has gone, and they're not even looking back. Whoever it was that was in government then has gone.
It was President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua.
That's what I'm saying.
God bless his soul. He signed the agreement. I don't know if you can still remember. When he became president, ASU was on strike. There was an ASU strike going on when he was inaugurated as president. And I had just one meeting with them, and this guy said, "Oh, this is fantastic. Let's call off the strike." He said, "Please call off the strike. Let us now come back to have a proper understanding as regards how to go into the future." And they went to him just once. I should say that he was actually a lecturer at the Katsina State University, now named after him, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua University, Katsina. And he gave them something fantastic that they could not but, clap for at the end of the meeting. But, God help us in this country. He signed something beautiful, and within a matter of weeks from that moment, he lost his health, such that he couldn't even function, he couldn't walk, he couldn't do anything, and eventually lost the battle. Another person came on board who was his vice president then, Goodluck Jonathan. You would expect Goodluck Jonathan to continue being someone who claims to have a background in the academia or in the academia, but Jonathan, he messed up so very badly. He couldn't go ahead with what he promised, what his predecessor, which I want to believe he was part and parcel of the government, president, vice president.
But can we now hold successive governments,
of course,
to an agreement that was made by different governments in 2009? What if the current government doesn't feel that,
Then you sit down, you talk to them. I can't do this. This is what I can do. This is not feasible. This is not practicable. This is not applicable. I mean, let's look at it together. Let's reason together. I mean, there's room for that. These guys are not saying that we are not talking. In fact, they want to talk. It's the government that is not talking to them because the government doesn't find them worthy to have a conversation with them. See, as far as I'm concerned, the last president this country had was Umaru Musa Yar'Adua.
Well, we currently have a president, President Bolanle Tinubu.
In my opinion, Jonathan, Buhari, Tinubu, those guys are a waste of space. The last active president we had was Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. And when he was there was nothing like a strike. Nobody was threatening to go on strike. Everything was going smooth, seamlessly, fantastically. See, the calling, or what should be the calling of every government, is how to make life better for the people. And when Yar'Adua was there, you could see that this guy was committed to that. Price of fuel, he reduced it. Taxes Nigerians were paying, he reduced it. He was doing a lot of construction, inland ports, roads, everything was just going on smoothly. He died, and Nigeria just fell off the cliff. And it's unfortunate that we've not even reached the bottom, because the guys who are currently handling Nigeria are just digging and taking Nigeria to the crust of the heart.
Now, Mr. Sani, another meeting. This is not the first time we're hearing the Ministry of Education, the one Labor and Employment are ready to meet. The last time they had meetings like this, one ministry was there, but the other said, we don't have anything to discuss with you guys.
The truth of the matter is that the government is not sincere. And I should applaud the guys running HASU, not just now, the immediate past president and the current president. I'm not sure I have the type of patience those guys have. I'm a practical person. The government has been messing around with them, and yet they don't. If you look at their nuances, the innuendos, and everything these guys have been doing, it's very easy to see that they are not really interested in going on strike. Because if they are, they would have done that 200 million years ago. But they are not doing that. Rather, it's about federal government, let's talk. Federal government, well, let's talk. The last time it happened, it went on for a full year. I don't know if you can still remember, under Buhari. And it robbed a lot of people of a lot of good things.
It did. And parents started calling the ASU insensitive.
Now they are telling everybody, we are not going to allow you to mess us up. Everybody can scream and hold the federal government responsible right now. You are not doing that. When we start our home, you begin to label us
Well,
as
we did
unpatriotic.
see Nance, come up to
Nance, which Nance?
We heard that Nance
Is Nance
also
still
in the news.
is Nance still an
They
organization?
did tell the federal government to sit down with ASU
Did
and
Nance,
talk
somebody
to them.
close to the presidency, chose, or the one who is in DSS jail? The proper Nance president was arrested by the SSS for reasons unknown to any logical human being. If that's the Nance that is talking, I will listen to them. If it's the other Nance, it's just rhetoric. Let's
also talk about the federal government's offer of support funds, loan-style support funds, and ASU has rejected it. They said they don't need loans, just pay us our salaries, as a when due, pay us competitive salaries. We don't need loans.
Is there a loan arrangement for National Assembly members? Is there a loan arrangement for ministers? Is there a loan arrangement for the president? Of course not. And I'll tell you why there is nothing like that. Every home, as we have heard from multiple people who are in the National Assembly, a senator goes home with money in the north of 20 million, money far higher than 20 million naira. And for House of Reps members, it's around 21 million. If I'm not mistaken, senators 29, House of Reps 21. Let me make this abundantly clear this morning. The amount of money senators go home with at the end of every month, all 109 of them, is enough to pay over 4,000 professors. Not just lecturers here, professors. There is more than what they can ever need. And the federal government has not said, okay, we want to give you a loan arrangement. The federal government knows who needs a loan. The guy who needs a loan is the guy who is struggling financially because not much money is coming in. You are intentionally paying this guy peanuts. Instead of talking about how to increase their pay, you want to put them in shackles because slaves today no longer go around in chains. They now go around in debt. You want to enslave them by enslaving their future, knowing too well that what you are paying them is not enough to take care of them today. You now want to give them money that when you begin to deduct, they will be in further crisis.
But some people applauded the federal government's Nel Fund move.
Nel Fund also came out to say Nel Fund is nonsense. I have been saying it and I'll continue to say it. Nel Fund is total, complete, and absolute nonsense. It's just a way of it's about enslaving these children's future. Nigeria is not like America. Even in the United States of America, countless are instances where the president would say, I'm canceling the debt.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. But here, there are a lot of people who came out with fantastic grades and have not been able to find a job. So you'll be thinking about how to job hunt. You'll be thinking about how to
pay back.
I mean, do you want to kill these people? Like I was saying, for the National Assembly members, they go home smiling every month and they don't ever need a loan.
And we've never heard them, protesting that they have not been paid. However, we have heard, the junior staff protesting payment.
National Assembly junior staff, are you talking about legislative aides or lecturers?
No. The national, there was a time they closed.
There is no way they are not going to complain. Our politicians are extremely selfish. They go home at the end of the month with 29 million. And apart from that 29 million, I should tell you that we buy fuel for them. We pay their house rent. We even give them money for clothing. We buy newspapers for them. So the 29, what exactly do they need it for? People who are going to pay for everything directly from their pocket, you're giving them 200,000. The guy who doesn't pay for anything, you're giving him 29 million. I mean, it's logic. It's clear. These guys don't care about us. So it's about us now telling ourselves. It's about Nigerians telling ourselves if we want to continue on this trajectory or we want to ask probing questions. I am for probing questions. Violence, no. Questions, yes.
All right. Still on the Punch newspaper, former President Goodluck Jonathan yesterday called for urgent reforms in Nigeria's electoral system, focusing particularly on the process of appointing the INEC chairman and the rising trend of political defections. We'll talk more about it, but we'll take a short break now to play some advertisement. And when we come back, Perspectives Unlimited will continue. So stay tuned. It's Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, and the program is Perspectives Unlimited.
long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour.
I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data.
Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service.
One Data?
Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
Boost your business with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. In a competitive world of business, strategic brand and product positioning is key to growth. Don't remain unseen in the shadows. Shine a spotlight on your brand with Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Why Wells Radio? We are your state's #1 family radio station. We connect with the heart of families in your state. As the smallest unit of the society, families trust Wells Radio for quality content and information. Visit us today along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Our white and blue building just before Sharp Corner ensures your business won't go unnoticed. Advertise with us today. Call our marketing office on 0903 936 8185. Call Toby on 0803 509 3394. Yomi on 0706 616 5053. Take the leap today. Let Wells Radio 89.3 FM be the megaphone for your business success. You won't regret it.
All right, you're welcome back. It's Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, and the program is Perspectives Unlimited. This morning, we're taking a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria, okay? You can be a part of the conversation this morning by calling the phone lines 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 4893, and 0911 3333 893. Before the break, Mr. Sani, we're going to talk about former President Goodluck Jonathan. He's expressed concerns with the process of appointing the INEC chairman. I know that this conversation came up, is it last year, when people said that ordinarily the president shouldn't, or any politically elected office holder should not have a hand in electing, INEC. It makes INEC not free, not a what's the word now? Independent body. It removes that, independence in the name, and he's saying that there must be a review of the process for appointing the INEC chairman. He's saying that an independent panel composed of representatives from the judiciary, civil society, academia, trade unions, and professional bodies should handle the screening and nomination of INEC chairman to ensure the credibility of the elections. He also criticized the increasing practice of cross-cupping. That's where elected officials abandon the parties under which they were elected, without any reason, and go to another party, as well as defections. There are also conversations underneath that Jonathan might make a return to PDP. Let's have your thoughts on these three things.
The truth of the matter is that I have had time to sit down and ask myself if it is proper that the president should appoint whoever is going to be the head of INEC. And I told myself point blank that no, we can do better. I'm sorry, Nigerians. I'm not usually like this, but this time around, I'm still thinking about how to find an alternative to the president appointing one. If you say, let the CJN, which is actually the head of the judiciary, do that, I mean, it may be counterproductive at the end of the day. Because what happens when the CJN appoints somebody and that person misbehaves for one reason or the other, and that matter gets to the court? Will the CJN be bold to rubbish the job of his appointee?
So you're saying that won't it eventually, won't there be bias?
That is it. For me, I think the current situation is still the one we can manage.
For the president to appoint?
Yes.
How about the National Assembly?
No, I'm still coming there, man. The president appoints. Should the president appoint, it is not automatic. The person goes to the National Assembly for ratification. So National Assembly also has an input, becomes the chair of INEC.
But with the friendliness we've seen in this current administration between the president and National Assembly.
So if that is the case, do you think Mr. Babu is going to say no to whoever Mr. Tinubu say, appoint? Mr. Tinubu says appoint. He's not going to do that. What I can see here is moral degradation in our land. It shouldn't be an issue for anybody to say, this is my job. Yes, somebody might have appointed me to become whatever I am today, but that person appointed me based on my pedigree. So let me continue to build on my pedigree and moral standing. If that is the type of country that we have, we shouldn't be talking about this. But I'm giving everybody a challenge this morning. Is it the CSOs, they will say, I stand with this, they will begin to go around Abuja carrying placards that I'm for this president, I'm not for this president, I want to say they should have. No. See, the truth of the matter is that.
How about, I'm also
using your, I can understand. I should tell you that this is something that I've done for years now. I've been thinking about how to crack this nut, and it's still nutty. I'm still not being able to crack it. If you say National Assembly, can Akpabio say no to Tinubu right now? If you say judiciary, it should have gone to the judiciary. But how many cases?
Because the judiciary is actually supposed to be independent.
But the case is, should litigation arise, will that person still be fair? Will the head of the judiciary be fair? That is one big question that nobody has been able to answer. So for me, it now encompasses all three. The president appoints, the National Assembly vets, and the judiciary has a final say. Should that person do a bad job? Not. So for me, let's leave it like that. If you have a superior alternative, please call in. Let's brainstorm. I am open to that.
All right,
and for good luck, Jonathan. In all seriousness, he's not someone I rate at all. I don't rate him whatsoever. We are in this mess because of his failure. I can say that even to his face. I wish he was here so that I can tell
you. So you're saying it started from him?
The mess that we are dealing with today started from him. It shouldn't have happened. When he was president, Nigeria made money that we have not even made till this very present day. The price of crude was almost all through his tenure, the price of crude stood at over $100 per barrel. That is insane money. And then we were doing upwards of 2.2, 2.3 million barrels per day. Nigeria was making insane money, yet it did not invest that money. They were just sharing, they were just spending, they were just having fun like tomorrow is going to be $1,000. When the immediate past president came on board, I see him as the unluckiest president Nigeria has ever had, despite the fact that if you want to be sincere to yourself and if you know how to do analysis, it was far above the current president and even Goodluck Jonathan. And let's say it, Goodluck Jonathan was netting $100 per barrel. There was a time Buhari was collecting $20 per barrel. And yet, in terms of infrastructure today, if you want to be sincere, he did well than Goodluck Jonathan. And the current guy, I don't even read that one at all. So what I'm saying here is this. If after being president for 5 years, you didn't carry out any reforms as regards who would be the high next chair, is it now that you now want to carry out a reform? I'm not going to fall for that type of nonsense. And
how about his re-emergence to the PDP?
That's well. And as regards him becoming the candidate of your party, see, I want to tell Nigerians one thing this morning. Let's not focus on parties. If Goodluck Jonathan had his way, he would have been the flag bearer of the APC in the last presidential election. He wanted to, it was an open thing then. He wanted to contest under the APC, but the powers that be within the party said, we are not going to accept you. And now the governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, is the one rooting for Jonathan to come back. Some people are also saying that Jonathan will come back. And let's use that opportunity to just go straight into the issue of zoning within the PDP. Name one character in the PDP today that is screaming zoning that did not work for Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2023. Is it Sheyi Makinde? Is it Bala Mohammed himself? Is it Wiki?
I think the question I would like to ask is it wise for the PDP to, zone to the south?
As far as I'm concerned, what they did on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, was not just undemocratic. It was also very, very foolish.
Why do you say this?
Somebody is from a particular zone. The other zone, which is more populated, is open. You are not thinking about leaving it open. I'm talking about who becomes president open in 2023 so that you will be able to forget about emotions, forget about sentiments. It's about who has the highest number of votes that becomes president. Not that, it's the turn of... That doesn't help anybody. And I've said it countlessly. It's not our fight. It's not our battle. It's a thing politicians use to hedge themselves out. Let's not follow them to discuss that. Let's focus on who is best for our country.
So you're saying that, zoning
the PDP should have left it. If I was a PDP stakeholder...
But they've always zoned every year.
They have never zoned. Go and check.
In the last elections.
They didn't zone. 2019, they didn't zone. 2015, they didn't zone. This is the first time the party will be coming out officially to say we are zoning.
I mean unofficially. So there's always the conversation of the last president came from this
now
place.
Now it is official. It has never been official. The APC has never done it. In fact, just yesterday, for you to know that APC is far smarter than these clowns that run around, the APC said it yesterday, despite the fact that we have adopted Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you are free to contest from wherever part of the country you may come from. But the PDP that should be more strategic and circumspect in their dealings is now saying that, we have zoned to the south.
So you're saying they should have simply just had the primaries like they always do.
Whoever has the numbers should win. So that if you can pull it off at the stage of primary, chances are bright that you'll be able to do something at the general election. Now you have said that it is still from the zone the president has come from.
But isn't this a form of strategy as well?
As far as I'm concerned, it is a way. The last time the PDP did it, they said we are endorsing Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That came with a lot of backlash. They are not doing that this time around. So they are using strategy to adopt him again.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
This is Miriam from Oduekun.
Good morning, Miriam. You're welcome. Let's have your contribution.
The proper funding of the education sector will have so many benefits for both the lecturers and the students. And that is why it's important for federal government to answer us on time. Because they've been on this issue for a very long time. And if our so-called politicians can be earning so much, then I see no harm in professors and lecturers earning fair compensation as well. So our leaders should just try, Mr. President should try, federal government should try and answer us on time. Because these students cannot go back. And idle hand is the devil's workshop. So they should just think twice and fast. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Miriam, for your contribution this morning. You can also join the conversation by calling the phone lines 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 4893, or 0911 3333 893. Mr. Sai, let's move on to another topic of conversation this morning. I saw the story yesterday and I had a lot of questions. CBN orders geotagging of all POS terminals within 60 days. These are policies that affect the ordinary man, and I want us to talk about it this morning. If you have a POS machine, or you do point of sales terminal business, please listen up. Now, just yesterday, the Central Bank of Nigeria directed that all POS terminals in the country be geotagged within the next 60 days as part of measures to curb fraud and strengthen oversight of the fast-growing sector. So in the circular, it's to operators including the likes of MoneyPoint, OPay, PalmPay, commercial banks, other licensed providers. So it means whoever you may be registered with, as long as you have your operating a point of sales terminal. They said that every existing POS device, so this is the meaning of the geotagging, every existing POS device must be registered with its exact GPS coordinates. That's like when you turn on the location of your phone. Before October 2025, if you buy a new POS after then, it must be geotagged before it can even be activated. Now, this so that means that per time, we know where your device is at any given time. It's the new devices will have inbuilt GPS systems that will be linked to the national central switch for monitoring.
Are they saying
special
that the
software
current
development
machines are going
kit.
to be obsolete at that point?
They won't be obsolete, but you must.
Did they say new device?
They did say that. No, they said under the directive, POS devices must be updated
Okay.
with built-in GPS systems.
Okay.
Now, you will only, as a merchant, you will only be permitted to process transactions within a 10-meter radius of your registered business address. And, a lot of people are struggling to say, what's 10 meters like? How far is 10 meters? Because for a lot of people...
Between 360 and 480 inches. See, the truth of the matter is that...
How does this curb fraud?
There is no way, absolutely no way this is going to curb fraud. POS is not just what you go there to say, oh, give me one and you walk away. No. There are a lot of documentation that you do before you get a POS.
Your
machine.
NIN and everything,
passport,
your BVN
ID
number.
card, everything. They have all your details. I should tell you that the CBN is only playing to the gallery here. Madam, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. Whether you switch on your location or not, the government knows exactly where you are. For as long as you have a phone that has
The registered SIM card.
that is it. And it's the same thing for these machines. I don't know whether most people know, there is always a SIM card in them. So the federal government knows exactly where you are. Saying you can only transact within 10 meters of where you are approved to transact is a way of cutting people's income. What if I was a POS person?
Let's take this call, please. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Oh, we lost that call. Please.
What if
call
I
us
was a
back.
POS person and on my way to my point of location, somebody, chief, give me 5,000 naira.
What if
there.
I live in a level and I do my POS business in
At
Mobile,
Mobile.
and so when I also get home, I also want to continue my business.
It's about inconveniencing the people because there is nothing new they may want to get that they do not have already.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, West Radio.
Good morning to you, sir. Your name and where you're calling from.
All right, good morning. God bless you, Mama. My name is Salen. I'm calling from my Watson. Good morning, Mr. Sonny.
Morning, sir.
All right, thank you. God bless you, sir. You see, on the issue of INET, I think this is one area that, honestly speaking, that even our elites in this country have failed us. They have failed us in the sense that everybody seems very, very convenient with Mr. President appointing the INET chairman, which ought not to be. And at the end of the day, by the time they mess up, because they have always messed up, the INET chairman, by the time they mess up, start blaming Mr. President. Our profs, our elite, what are we doing to make proposals to the federal government on how to appoint INET chairman? Going by the INET name, Independent National Electoral Commission, are we actually fighting for the true independence of INET? Everybody's talking of judicial autonomy, investor autonomy, and what have you. Are we talking about the independence of INEC? Is INEC truly independent? No. Now, what efforts are we making to ensure their independence? Just as Mr. Sonny has said, he said he has been cracking his brain just like I've been doing it too, because we are talking of voting, voter apathy and what have you. This is part of the reason, because it's like when at the end of the day somebody will keep under the scorching sun to vote, at the end of the day the results will not reflect the true voting pattern of the masses. It's discouraging. Now, what I think can be done is like, okay, can we actually say that take the appointment of INEC chairman from Mr. President completely and the office and political office holders? Why not just let the chairman position be thrown open to the masses to apply. At the end of the day, let's see the applications, let them go for the interview, let's have a committee, mainly from NUC, maybe from our university professors, from academia, from the National Assembly, from judiciary. Let the committee decide and conduct an interview for them. Then, of course, whoever has emerged victorious among them should just be presented to Mr. President as the INEC chairman, and let their tenure be, let their tenure be defined. It's going to be 5 years, it's going to be 4 years, and what have you. A situation whereby the INEC chairman position will have been, will have expired. Yet Mr. President is still keeping because he's still interested in him. I don't understand. So that's the only way. Let's open that position. Let them apply. Then see the something, correct them for them, and only present them to whoever has been choosing the president to Mr. President to work with. Of course, I can assure you that that's something will help us in this country and will reduce electoral malpractices. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you so much, Mr. Salami. 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893, and 0911-3333-893. These are the numbers you can call to be a part of the conversation this morning.
He said something about the lecturers. I'm sorry to inform him that a professor is currently in jail as we speak because he rigged elections. I mean, it's a general problem, like moral degradation. That's the problem. It's not about who appoints. It was someone who appointed Jega.
All right. Before he called, we're actually talking about the POS, thing.
The truth of the matter is that the federal government is only finding a way to inconvenience our people. And
so that would literally mean, because the other day I was telling someone that in my area now, just move like 2 steps, 3 steps to see POS person. So we're going to see the emergence of even more POS operators.
What they are saying is that it's going to be just 1 person per any 10-meter radius now.
So, sorry, just a question.
Okay.
So does that mean, there's some people that have like multiple, it's like a business for some people, they have like multiple POS
One
outlets.
is using POS machine here, another person is using POS machine B.
So do those people they have to register just one business address now?
Well, I can't tell if you are operating under a business name, if you are going to be permitted to have more than one, or it's just going to be one. But what I'm trying to say here is this. Don't forget, around this time last year, they told us that every POS person must come to register.
Yes.
And people said
which no. Eventually they did.
Are they all registered?
Well, not everyone, but at least many people started registering.
I believe this is where this is coming from. It's about finding a way to penalize those who have not registered. And, people have been complaining that each time they go to the POS guys, it's always the POS guys trying to charge them more than what they charged them yesterday. Should this happen, we are going to transition from 200 naira per 10K to maybe 300.
And we'll have to start going back to the banks.
I
can't remember the last time I went to the bank.
Who has the time for that? Nobody.
All right, you're still listening to Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, your number one family radio in the whole of Oyo State. We're talking about stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria this morning. Let's take a look at some more headlines on a couple of dailies. Let's see what we have. On the Punch newspaper, we have okay. Well, this headline says Nigeria spends 1.3 trillion naira on petrol in June. It's from the NMDPRA. I mean, which is pretty much, but of course, taking a look at how much petrol jumped in the past couple of months, that makes sense. Now, a monarch was jailed yesterday in the U.S. Mr. Sani.
I have a lot of things to say about the monarch himself, but that is not the most important thing for now, because he has been jailed, and I hope and pray he spends the entire 56 months behind bars. But beyond him, I have things to say to our kingmakers. Anytime a king dies, it's windfall for them. It's no longer about a tradition. It's no longer about, oh, if I chose this, oh, this is the next ruling family, this is this is that. It's always about who can pay the highest amount of money. Look at almost all of our towns and cities in Yoruba land. And not just Yoruba land, it's almost everywhere now. It's usually a returnee from Canada, from Japan, from America, from UK. Someone who, as of the time of choosing him, had a lot of dollars to spare. I can remember, in fact, 2 towns are coming to my head right now, 2 major towns. They had already settled for a particular candidate. And somebody came in the final minute with, cool dollars. And they started afresh. They nullified what they had done already to start all afresh because they had collected money. In fact, another one is, I can remember almost 10 Yoruba major cities right now. We are people who have access to some things that the ordinary Nigerian doesn't have access to. That's why I'm saying I can't begin to say this town for obvious reasons, but a lot are just flying in my head right now. A lot of them are flying in my head right now. If our kingmakers are going to stand with the tradition, they are going to stick by the tradition, we won't be having this problem. But should a king do today, what comes to their head is, oh, I must collect dollars. That is what majorly leads to things like this. So if the kingmakers are not going to stop collecting money before they make somebody a king, trust me, we are just starting.
This is a very weighty allegation.
It's something everybody knows. Unless you want to tell me that you don't know, Madam Bola.
I don't know.
Okay. May God help you know.
We'll take a look at some comments on our Facebook fan page. Ademola Okunlola says the federal government should see to the demands of ASU and not allow our students go on strike like they have proposed. If the children of our politicians are studying in Nigeria, I am sure our educational sector would have been well invested in. Instead of increasing our politicians' salaries, the money should be invested in education. Thank you. Adeomi Kazim says, good morning. Well done. Adikas from New Garage, Ibadan. I totally agree with Okunlola Adedamola. And I know that some people proposed that a while ago that, you know what, let's insist that whoever, because this thing is not compulsory, it's voluntary. Governance, being a part of governance is voluntary. You're there to serve the people. Let's insist that these people, once you join, your family, yourself, your extended family are bound to patronize Made in Nigeria, unless there is no alternative for that thing. We have countries that do that. They don't hire any foreigner into any position except...
Can I chip something in?
Just in a
I
couple
was
of
trying
seconds.
to do something with a company in Singapore not too long ago, and they asked me, "Are you a Chinese citizen?" I said no. Do you have anybody on the board of a company who's a Chinese person, Chinese national? I said no, and they said they can help you. These countries have domesticated everything. China came to Singapore to register a company to help Chinese people in Singapore. I was trying to do a business with that particular company, and they said they can't help me because I'm a Chinese person.
Which is, what it should be. We should always put our own first. It's not only when it comes to buy Nigerian rice or buy Nigerian food. It should also get into governance.
Everywhere.
Yes. And that's how we wrap up the show. Parents, speak up for your children. We don't want another ASU strike. Thank you so much for staying with us on Perspectives Unlimited. Don't go anywhere. AM Sports is coming up shortly with Daily Ray, bringing you the latest and the freshest stories in the world of sports. I am Bolanle Oduekun. Ayola, thank you so much, Mr. Sani.
It is always an honor
on
to
the
be
show.
here.
All right. I think that's it. Bye.